New permission today, and I'm super excited about this because there's a stream that flows right through the middle of it. We have some nice cedar forest, some big like hardwood forest, and some open fields. So I'm thinking there's going to be something because there's a named spring on their property, and I suspect there's going to be a home site there, although there's no indication that I can tell that there's a home there now, and the property owner, they're clueless. So that makes it really good. They've never given permission for anybody to be here but me, because no one's ever asked. So we're going to check it out. Just looking here today, I can see a lot of trash, but we're close to the road, and we'll be moving off of that shortly. So hopefully it won't be so bad. Good area for Civil War stuff too, so could be a camp in here. We'll keep our fingers crossed, or, well, thumbs up. I'm an idiot. Okay, let me show you what we're dealing with. The reason I set up here is because this is a cedar tree, or Virginia juniper, that's been chewed down by a beaver. Those are beaver marks, and I've never seen them chew down a cedar tree before. The stream is right down there. It's a beautiful one. It's spring fed. I have actually been on the next farm over, one that's across the road right there, and there is a home site over there, but it's been dogged to death, so we're not going to bother with that today. And I've always wanted to get over on this side. You can see the stream down there is an old dam right there. That's an old beaver dam. There's a spring over there. There's a spring right down here. You can see we drug the cedar branches down there too, so I guess he's using those for his dam, I suppose. Quite a few trees cut down. Cedar tree here, cedar tree there, and I think the one behind us actually has some chew marks. Yeah, so he's already chewing on that one too. Look at that. So he's going to cut that one down and give him time. I'm going to go ahead and get to it. We'll dig the first signal together if it's a good one. Oh boy, if it's a bad one, well, we'll just dig the next one together too. Lots of bones in here. That's an old deer bone there. That's a puffball that is, ooh, still puffing from last year. You can eat those when they're young, and we'll do that. Let me just show you a few things over here too. When I came in the path, you see a lot of trash, which, you know, I hate to see, but anytime you're near a road. Oh yeah, look at all the bones. This is a deer that was either shot or got hit on the road. It's hard to say. A lot of them get hit, and there's another skull right up there. I didn't see that one on the way in. Let's go look at it. Either got shot or hit by a car. That happens all the time. Stuck. There's a skeleton there with a skull. Skeleton there with a skull. So maybe people were dumping him in here, I guess. It's an awful lot. Here's an old deer trail right here. You can see lots of deer tracks in it. Splits, goes up through the woods. Pretty sweet. It's a good spot. Oh, there's another skull. Look at that. This is like weird. That's, you know, another skull. That's a doe. There's a skull over here. Hey, and that's a doe. There's a skeleton up here. How many is that so far? You guys keeping track? That's a little spike, a little buck. You see it's got antlers on it right there. Wow, that's a lot for right here, isn't it? I mean, there's no place to park, so I wouldn't imagine people are dumping them, but I can't think of any other reason unless this is just a zone of death for all creatures, great and small. So we'll have to be careful. Be aware of any spirits or bad vibes. But I'm thinking there's not going to be any spirits or bad vibes because we're tough. This is awesome, man. I really think we're going to find a home site on this hill and where the big spring is. That's just down that way probably. Oh, look at those cedar trees. We'll look at them. Beavers cut them down. Great big ones. The big spring is about 300-400 yards that way. I've been detecting for about 20 minutes on the hillside behind me, and not a single target worth digging, sounding target. Not even a shotgun shell. A couple blips of iron, but that's about it. So I'm going to move away from there. My excitement level has gone down a little bit, but we're going to move toward where that big spring is. There's a little spring over there right where I started the video, but apparently there's no house there. So we'll move in that direction, and hopefully we'll find a foundation with tons of coins around them. But I think I did solve a mystery of why there's so many skeletons and skulls out here. As I was bebopping along here, I saw this skull, and I came down to take a look at it and check it out. Someone has cut the antlers off. So that's telling me that all those bones and stuff up there closer to the road were probably dumped there over the years because, well, they kept the antlers on this one. I mean, someone could have walked through here, I guess, and chopped them off and kept them, but I suspect that they're being dumped by either some slob who's just stopping on the road there and pitching them over, or maybe someone in one of those houses. There's a subdivision not too far from here on the other side. Maybe one of them's a hunter and they're just dragging them over here and pitching them in when they're done after they've butchered them, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I don't know. I guess that's what's going on. At least I don't feel like I'm doomed with a hex or curse or Sam Squinch. Maybe that's what it is. Hope they're not attracted to all the corpses out here in the woods. I'm almost starting to feel that actually I might be hexed, because here's another spring, and there's no signals around it. No iron, no non-iron, there's nothing. And I would think that somebody would want to have built a house in this area somewhere, like right on this hill. But just like the other one across the way, not a signal one. Strangest thing. I don't see any pottery though, so I don't think this is the named one, because I think it should be another couple hundred yards that way. I don't think it was this close to the road, so hopefully it's a great big one with gold coins all over the place. Getting a little bit nervous here. As I was getting my gear back on, I looked over here and saw something neat, and since this video might be another one that crushes my hopes and dreams of a good relic or coin video, I thought I'd share this with you, because it's actually pretty cool. I like it. What we have here is a big sycamore tree. You see this mud pile? Do you know what did that? See all the sticks that are in there that are cut? This is actually a beaver den. Now, on small streams like this, you know, beavers won't necessarily build their den out in the middle like you see in the movies. They'll build it in the bank. It's called a bank den. I don't see any fresh tracks. I'm not seeing any fresh cuttings, so this beaver might be on somebody's fur by now, because there are beaver trappers in the area, and beavers are a fur-bearing animal. There's a lot of them around, so I suspect this one was trapped out this winter. Let's go ahead and look at the other side here and see if there's any hope there's still a live beaver in here. That's where we would come out down there where it's deep, but I'm not seeing any fresh sign. No fresh tracks. I don't have a good feeling about that poor little beaver there. He's probably part of someone's hat or jacket or something right now, or on the way to being one. But such is the circle of life. That away, we're going to find the spring. It's going to be huge. There's going to be gold coins laying everywhere that the beaver has dug up and put there as an offering to the Chig, because I care about them. I really do, but I don't think a beaver would do that. Wait, but you never know, do you? We're going to find out. Still not a single target have I dug. I've heard a little bit of iron, but not much. We're moving into a different type of area now. It's more open hardwood forest. If the spring isn't down here within the next 100 yards, that was probably it back there. The reason the camera's on is because this is a kind of an interesting little area with lots of things to look at. What originally caught my attention was this Coke bottle just laying on the surface, which I think is kind of cool. That's from Hagerstown, Maryland. Ooh, gave you a little bit of a close-up there. Complete. I'm gonna go ahead and save that. And as I was looking at that, I noticed there were a couple bones over here. So we have another deer. That's a doe. There's no sign of the antlers on it. I think I have that camera on wide. I'll have to fix that. That's his pelvis. And then I looked over here, and I see what could be the remains of someone's old camp or something. You can see there's a cinder block. We know that's not very old. Some bottle, that's some probably fortified wine, I would guess. Like the MD 2020, and another soda bottle. Yeah, I don't know how old that one is, but that was embossed, obviously. So not embossed, but had a label. I probably won't keep that. I'll just put it back where I found it for someone else. Because there's one thing I've learned in this hobby is that one man's trash is another man's treasure. A few other broken bottles here. This one looks older. Look at this. This is an old beer bottle. I want to say, I can't read it, but it's a beer bottle from Cumberland, Maryland. It's one of the big breweries. broken, unfortunately. I too am going to leave that one right where I found it. I'm gonna look around for bottles as we go along. Hopefully the spring's down there. If not, the stream looks very interesting. Well, it looks like a giant sinkhole. Looking across the bottom here, you can see where the stream comes down. It's a big bank. It might just be where the bank's cut out, probably. But we're gonna go down through here, hit that. If there's nothing, we're gonna hop over and work the other side back to the beginning. And unfortunately, there are no targets. It's just really, really strange to me. All right, let's grab the machine and keep on trucking. Looking for bottles, I guess now. Bottles and what else do we see? We saw something else weird. We'll look for those. Besides one or two beer cans, I mean, I had not heard anything. I didn't even dig those. Those were in leaves. There's a good sounding target here, and I suspect someone has already dug this and pitched it, and that's why we're seeing it. If you look, there's a light bulb. This is aluminum, so it sounds really good. And there is absolutely no reason for that to be laying on top of the leaves like that, unless someone dug that fairly recently or dropped it fairly recently and pitched it over here. Because if that was done, this was dropped, say, 6 months ago before the leaves fell, it would look like that. So I think someone's been here before us very recently. Oh well, that's the story of life. All right, let's keep trucking. I have not given up hope yet, and I hope you haven't either. It's gonna be good. We're gonna find something. Still haven't found anything, so don't get real excited, but I wanted to show you something pretty neat. What I thought was a sinkhole is actually a horseshoe bend in the creek. If you look right up there, there's some rocks. I haven't looked at that yet, but I suspect it could be like an old dam, rock dam. But the creek comes down like this and flows around, drops there too, goes around at the loop like a big horseshoe and pops around here. Isn't that neat? I just love it. These are always good places to check where you have recent erosion, because anything that was buried here in this bend has tumbled down and all the silt's washed away, and it should be laying right on the surface. That's why I find so much stuff in the water, is because all the surface area up in here will eventually be in the stream bed. And I would say this is going to cut through here. That's going to continue to cut this way, and the stream is going to come straight through here, probably within, could happen in a few decades, who knows. That will become what we call an oxbow. It'll eventually silt in and become like a little pond, and it'll be marsh and all kinds of cool stuff over there. So I'm going to walk around here, just explore a little bit. We're almost to the end of the property, so I think we might be out of luck with the big spring. So we'll just have to play it by ear. I do have another place we can go today if this is a total waste, but I also have to work on my truck, so we might just go home and work on my truck. That's pretty cool, isn't it? All right, it's back to walking. Been here a couple hours. I have nothing in my bag except the Coke bottle, so I'm thinking we ought to go across the creek. You guys game? Hey, I'm not sure if the Chig is, but we're going to try crossing this log right here together. And well, what do you say? Let's do it. I have such a poor sense of balance, though. Ay, geez, I'm already gonna fall in. I know I should really be concentrating on walking and not filming, but oh God, I hope this doesn't break. Is it gonna break? Jeez, I am so unbalancy. All right, ready to make a run for it? At least it's only about waist deep, so. All right, here we go. God, I'm such a moron. Well, I made it to the bushes, so I know I can get out from here, but check this thing out. If you look down there, look at those little round holes. I don't know, I think those are probably crawdad holes. Not positive, but that's pretty cool. All right, I can hold on to this now, at least, if I start to fall. Oy. We're not gonna fall, are we? All right, probably the most excitement of the trip. Nothing, absolutely nothing so far, except deer skulls. There's a pelvis there. Oh, a bunch of beer bottles here. Joy, joy. We are about 2/3 of the way through the property. This side of the creek, there's really not much land, but there is a field or two that we can check out, so that's where I'm headed next. That's a beautiful property, though. No doubt about that. So here's my first keeper of the day. Actually, like the first signal that I've dug that hasn't been just total junk. It is a bird band. That's a little ring that they put on a bird's leg. And if we're lucky, we'll be able to figure out what it was and maybe even where it came from by reading the code. Now, it could be from a pigeon, or it could be from just a, a migratory bird. The feds could have done this, so. Oh well, at least that's a little mystery we can try to solve. What does that say? MNBR? And some numbers. I can't. C in 97 7231 M. Looks like M. I don't know if that's an M or an N. BR C 97 7231. No, 723 M. Bird band. That's probably the date right there, the 97. And it could be from a migratory bird. Who knows? Maybe we can find out if we look online. I finally have kind of an interesting find. I haven't pulled it up yet, but I know exactly what it is. Do you? See how long it takes you to figure it out. At this point, I didn't know. I had to kick it, and when I kicked it, I figured it out. Watch this. You ready? Now, do you know? That's a great big old saw for lumber, cutting trees down. You know, the kind, I guess it's like a two-man saw. It'd be one guy on each end with a big cutting down giant redwoods. I don't know how old it is. It could be 100 years old, could be 200. Probably not much more than that, but it could be. I mean, there are no houses that I found nearby, so I think it's probably been out here since they cut down the big ones back in the day. Wow, that's cool, huh? Look at that. Awesome. I don't know if maybe the handle broke, that's why it's here, or maybe it just rotted off. Oh yeah, that's a beauty right there. We'll definitely keep that. Nice. I found another one like this some years ago. It was actually a little bit bigger than that, and I put it up against a tree that was laying down in the woods, not far from where my in-laws' farm was, and I could never find it again. This house is there now, so it's probably still there because they didn't build houses right there in the woods, but I don't know. I mean, what do you do with things like that? Would you keep it? Well, I keep it. I should ride it up there. Should take it up by the highway and set it there and just get it later on. Yeah, that's probably what I'll do. I'll just kind of set it up there against the fence, and I'll just stop on the highway and run over the side and grab it. Pretty cool though. I do want to keep that though, because I really don't have one of those in my collection. I'm not sure of the age. If any of you guys know how old that might be by its construction, let me know. Nice. Here's another neat little spring. Getting a little bit of iron behind me, but I haven't found anything good yet. I think the water must come up here, or maybe we need to dig that out, man. We need to dig it out. Let's look at the water over here though, where we can actually see it. What I find curious is this is like, I don't know, third or fourth spring I've seen. It's a beauty. There's a lot of water coming out of it, but it's cloudy. I have never seen spring water that is cloudy like that, and every spring I've seen on this property has been like that. There must be something weird going on. Maybe there's a big old snallygaster that lives up in there and he's splashing around in the water making it like that, but I don't know, it's weird. And we've had rain, a little bit of snow melt over the last couple of days, but not much. So something's going on. Maybe there's some, like somebody's drilling a well down into the aquifer or something. I don't know. This is interesting right here. I think I might dig on this a little bit. I think somebody already did, to be honest with you. You know, I said that maybe someone had dug this out, but, you know, I don't know about that. But I do know a lot of water has come up out of the ground here and gushed out of here during times of rain. And I know that because, see, you can see the silt on all the rocks. And if you look here, you can see the water has actually come up over this rock and dug out here a lot. And dug out over here as well and made this. So the water is pouring out of this hole. So with any luck, if we dig on it a little bit, it might be big enough that we can get in there above the water level. There might be a giant cavern beneath our very, well, metal detector that's up there. Not our feet, but beneath the metal detector. I'll be quiet. So I didn't get very far digging, but I got far enough to know I'm going to come back. Maybe later this summer when the water levels are down. See, there's a nice little hole there. You can see actually the water coming up. And the spring right there, which of course is very cloudy because I'm digging here. So it's this is going to be a good spot. You know, this might actually be the named spring I was looking for. But I think it's on the wrong side of the creek. But I'll have to look at the map again. You know, because sometimes they just write the name across it and not really show exactly where it was. So this is a pretty good size one, and I'm getting some iron, so this could be it. Let's get back to digging for a metal detector. See the little red light on the headphones. It wants to get back to work. Okay, let's do it. Now this is something you don't see that often. Look at the cactus, little prickly pear cactus. And you can see they're scattered all up through here. There's a bunch. Look at that. Isn't that cool? And you know what? Those are actually native to this area. They grow naturally here. They always have. But the one thing about it is, when you see those, you know that there's probably very poor soil. And that's exactly what we have here is poor soil. It's a shale soil, a little bit of limestone mixed in on the edges, but it's shale. It's not very nutrient rich. Not good for farming. That's why we're not finding any home sites along this creek back here. Now, like I said, I do know there's one up there. There should be one around here too, but man, I tell you, if we had something like this down where I live, man, there'd be house sites all over the place. We probably found 3 or 4 already today. But this is just not good farming here. You plow it up, plant something, and it just, you know, it'll die in the summer because it's just not good for it. But the cactus like it. So I'm up above the spring and almost back to the house. There is a lot of iron up here. I did find this just now. It looks like it's really old iron. A lot of signals, but nothing good yet. You know, no good signals. I'm going to look around a little bit longer. If the wind keeps blowing like this, I'm probably going to cut out. We'll have to come back another day. But at least I do want to see if there's at least was a house here. That big piece of iron makes me very hopeful. So back at it. Just dug this. Oh, the wind's not too much. I just dug this rifle casing, so that tells me that this place has not been metal detected too much, because they would have dug this thing too. This has been in the ground a long time. Lots of iron, nothing old yet that's non-ferrous, but this is a good sign. Although it's not a great find, it's a good sign. Back at it. So I'm pretty much back to where we started. The house is right over there. Nothing. We found almost nothing today. I was on the hillside above that spring. Dug probably half a dozen rifle cartridges, new. Nothing old except that one piece of iron. Lots of iron, but I didn't dig any more up. So sorry about the hunt. If there is more than like 30 seconds or so left at this point, you might want to keep watching, because I'm going to go to another place not too far away. I've hunted it before. It's been hunted by a million people, but you never know. So if I find something, I'll add a little bit to the end of this one. Oh, we did find the saw, so I mean, that was pretty cool. 2-man saw. All right, we'll see you on the next one. Until I go to sleep, she'll shake the coins from your pocket, take your gold chain and your locket. Mother Earth has no sympathy. She'll take the